good, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of Fender Play Live. I'm your host, Scott Goldbaum, and if you didn't make it to last week's episode, as you can see, I'm coming to you live from my house in Southern California. So if we encounter any technical glitches, we're going to address them. Hang with us. Otherwise, we're still here to bring you the same Fender Play Live as always, diving into all things guitar. And we're also announcing the winner of our weekly gear giveaway. Plus, we've got an exclusive offer, never done this one before, that's available for all of you guys that we're going to announce toward the end of the show in addition to the giveaway. And it's the first time we've done this. Pretty cool. So make sure you stick around. Now, this week, we're checking out the classic 90s rock album by Weezer, the one and only Blue Album. And we've brought on a very special guest and friend of the show to help us out. Before I tell you exactly who that guest is, for those of you who don't already know, he's a guitarist, he's a multi-instrumentalist, amazing writer for Guitar.com, Fretboard Journal, formerly one of the Mikes from Mike and Mike's Guitar Bar in Seattle, and we know him on our show as an absolute expert in all things Jazzmasters and Jaguars. But maybe most important and pertinent to this show, he formed a Weezer tribute band in 2014 called My Name is Jonas Brothers. Give it up for the one and only Mike Adams.
Everybody, I'm Mike. Good to be here.
Mike in the figurative house. Good to see you from far away, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. I'm super bored. I'm wearing Star Trek uniforms indoors. This is it's getting pretty haggard over here for sure.
Yeah, well, way to commit. If we could zoom in, we'd insist we'd want to see what your pendant's all about.
You see what I made? Special for this program.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you're hearing that delay too. We can address it really fast in case that's something we can fix on their end. But that goes to say, you're a guest. You've been on the show. Before. You know that our audience is largely student-based. So we like to ask all of our guests this right off the bat. How long have you been playing guitar?
I have been playing since I was 11, so that's probably 27 years at this point, and I'm, still learning things, still figuring out sound good, but having fun the whole time. So, yeah,
righteous, man. And then considering the topic of today's show, it's definitely worth asking. I think we all know where we were the first time we encountered Weezer. What's your story exploring that band?
Mike, where were you when you first heard? I was in a van on tour with my high school punk band in probably 94, 95. My buddy, Mike Landis, who was our bass player, said, "Oh, I got this new record," and he had the jewel case. It was colored blue. I put the CD in, and it absolutely changed everything. That wall of guitar sound. I didn't know that pop songs could be so heavy. It was the greatest thing ever. Yeah.
Well, so on the note of guitar sound, it surprised that you came in as a gear expert with this guitar. Can you tell us a little bit about what you got with you today?
Yeah, so I've got a blue Strat, which is a replica of the thing that Rivers played on tour from '94 until about 2001 until it broke. It's a guitar pieced together. It's got Seymour Duncan and DiMarzio pickups. It's got this electrical tape design that I patterned after the Say It Ain't So video, as well as Letterman in 1995. It took me a couple hours to do this, but it fits the part. It's awesome. I
love that, man. What was that on Letterman exactly? What were they playing?
That was Say It Ain't So. They were playing that. It was a good performance.
Oh, I love it, man. Oh, well, can you break into this a little bit for us? Let's hear what it's all about.
So, I'll take that again.
Nice little glimpse into a song. No, it's great, man. We'll have you do a deeper dive into that in a second. You can see I'm rocking the Acoustasonic Strat here today. Totally different sound. It's the one disadvantage of us not being in the same room is we can't play at the same time. So I thought I would do a little bit of that. There's the fuzz. Here's the clean. but this is a great tool too. Before we jump right in, man, if you guys have any questions for Mike while he's with us or myself throughout the episode about Weezer, drop them in the comments and we'll try to answer them for you as soon as we can. Now, all the songs you're going to hear today, you can, of course, learn on Fender Play. And if you sign up today, remember you get a free 3-month trial to learn everything. So make sure you check that out after the show. We might as well kick off the show exactly the same way the record gets started with My Name is Jonas. Can you do a deeper dive demonstration of that song for us, man?
Yeah, so what are we going to do? The intro? Is that?
Yeah, let's hear a little bit of that.
Yeah. So the intro, played on an acoustic traditionally, but I don't have one available, so. Something like that.
And like right off the bat, man, what are your thoughts on this song as an opener? We'll talk about the tones and everything, but it's kind of deceiving. You just called attention to the fact that it starts with an acoustic, a tambourine, a harmonica solo pops up later in the tune. But what do you think of this as an opening song off of any record?
Yeah, so My Name is Jonas is such a perfect opener because it lulls you into this false sense of security, like, oh, I'm going to listen to a folk song. And then it pummels you with gigantic, like, enormous guitars. And that's maybe my favorite thing about Weezer, especially of this era, is the use of dynamic. It's clean, it's dirty, it's quiet, it's loud. It's just the 90s were the heyday of quiet loud, in my opinion.
Yeah, those dynamics were really brought out in that contrast from starting with the acoustic and the tambo and then getting into this half-step down-tuned guitar. And this is probably a good opportunity to talk about how they took advantage of the lowered third power chord. So you're just inverting that power chord. You're not just hearing, but rather that.
Yeah, very often on this record, in just about every song, often you're not just hearing, if you're going to play a C, for example, you're not just hearing the C and the G, you're hearing the C and the G with a low G at the bottom. And that is like glue between the guitars and the bass. It turns the band into one gigantic chord. Oh, I love it.
And then what does the half-step down tuning do for that sound, would you say? Does it just make it more guttural because it's a little bit heavier?
In my opinion, it makes just about every guitar sound a little bit meaner, a little bit dark, a little thicker. But that's, if you want to play along to the record, you got to tune down to E flat. That's just how it goes, boys.
That's right, man.
101 Weezer lesson there.
I think that speaks to just about every song on that record too. And then when you kind of go against the grain of playing with the bass, can we hear that ascending lead guitar pattern again? Is that cool?
Yeah. I'll try to play it right this time. So close. But that's live. That's live, baby.
That's live, baby. And I'll tell you what else. Let's just contrast that again against that finger-picking pattern that, rumor has it that this actually wasn't even written by Rivers. Everything was played by Rivers, as I understand. Is that right? As far as like one marathon day of just doing all the guitar parts. But as I understand, it wasn't Patrick Wilson because he's the drummer, but Jason Cropper had originally written this like folky acoustic part that. And as I play it with, and maybe they're using more of like a hybrid picking pattern with a pick or something. But as I do it, I feel like it's channeling a bunch of folk things. Like you might as well just like go right into, something like Dust in the Wind or whatnot. But let's go ahead and let's just jump right into another tune, man, that you can learn on Fender Play today. We spent quite a bit of time on My Name is Jonas. Let's go ahead and check out a song, the one and only Buddy Holly, one of my favorite music videos of all time by Spike Jones. Can you play a little bit of that for us?
Absolutely.
Oh man, what are we hearing there? I mean, that's just a lot. There's a lot of fun to that song. So right off the bat, those verses and those choruses, it's a heavy guitar. Are you just playing like 3-fingered power chords throughout?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I always do anyway. It's just
Okay.
part of my DNA now. But yes, I think I'm just playing. Yeah, to get that sound.
Well, on the note of getting the sound, I remember you had mentioned this to me earlier. If you really want it to line up with the synthesizers, what are the steps that you take to make sure that you can play along with the record? And by the way, you investigated all these tedious details as a result of My Name is Jonas Brothers. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was an excuse to do a deep dive and figure out the sounds. The band that we created in 2014, we created out of a love of the record, but also because we wanted to understand the sounds. So we either built or acquired everything that they were using from 94 to 98.
Yeah,
I don't know. We were also bored then too. So yeah, boredom is a powerful motivator.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So then in that, you were saying, what do you have to tune the guitar to as far as it's still a half step down?
So as you often hear in music that's recorded with a piano or with a synthesizer, the other instruments need to tune to match it because it's much harder to retune a piano or a synth than it is to just tune up a little bit. So Buddy Holly, as far as I can tell, is actually tuned a half step down, but A445. So if you have a tuner that can do altered tunings, set it up 5 cents, and you should be pretty much there. Or 5 hertz. Sorry, I don't want to misspeak, but yeah, 445.
Yeah, nerddom, man. Way to commit to being a nerd. I love it. When you're looking at that chorus there, because you were also enlightening me to this too. So what are you doing to that chorus? Essentially like the A5, ooh, and just like Buddy Holly. But he's hitting the A. Were you saying that Matt's hitting that F sharp?
Matt Sharp is one of my favorite bass players in all of rock and roll history, and there's an intensity and a power behind what he does that I just don't think can be matched. So I'm going to record a loop here and show you. The guitar is going. Let me switch to a bass.
Nice, man.
Because.
Is this the clone?
This is a what? Oh, no, this is just my 73P bass.
All right, we'll go down that rabbit hole in a second.
Matt Sharp guitar lives in Seattle, unfortunately. You got that? So, go back to the looper. I messed up. 1, 2, 3. So if you really want to nail that sound, your bass player is going to have to play an F sharp or we're a half step down, so an F.
Yeah, there it is.
But yeah, that's amazing. It's brilliant. It makes the song for me. Matt Sharp, genius.
I love that, man. Well, needless to say, no discussion of Weezer styles complete without breaking down Rivers' signature guitar tone, and that's present throughout this whole album. Mike, can you tell us a bit more about the sound on the album, Rivers' sound? Because I kind of take it as like this grunge with a heavy dose of power pop. One of my favorite comments earlier on the YouTube thread, I already saw it come in, it was like, Weezer is trash, I love them. So what are we doing to achieve that?
What I love about the Weezer sound of this era is that Rivers' main guitar sound is either through one of 2 amps. One is a British amp, EL34 based, with a ton of gain. And the second one is a Southern California brand, 6L6 based, but like just overdriven like crazy. And those sounds aren't tight the way we think of heavy sound today. They aren't like, perfectly, tight and full. The guitars are a little bit ratty. They're a little bit trashy. There's a little bit of slop in it. Like, I think that just makes a wider sonic signature. It blows my mind every time I listen to it. Yeah. So I don't know.
Do you have any? Yeah, no, totally. Do you have any insight into Rick Ocasek's contribution from the Cars when he was producing this record? Was he for that sound? Was he kind of pulling him? Like, was he encouraging restraint when he was playing?
Well, as far as I can understand from what I've read, is that Rick Ocasek's fingerprints are all over this, like not just the pop sensibilities of the songs, because these songs are very poppy. They're wonderful little gem song structures. But Rick, I think in an interview that I read, Rick Ocasek famously didn't care for the guitar sounds. He didn't like what they were, but admitted that they worked for the songs, which I think just speaks to the brilliance of his work as a producer, that he was able to see through maybe a preference and hear that it worked really well.
And I know he showed up again. I know he showed up on the Green album. I know today we're talking all things Blue album. And on that note, actually, we might as well break down your strat right there, because it's my understanding that you won the seal of approval upon being able to present this to Rivers. Is that right?
Yeah. So back in 2014, we went to a Weezer show in December in Seattle. Pardon me, live. And we were able to meet up with Rivers, and I was able to show it to him. I handed it to him. I said, hey, I made this, and he was super kind and really nice about it. And he played a few chords on it and told me, wow, it looks and feels just like my original. And that just, even talking about it, just makes my heart flutter. It was a huge moment for me.
That's so awesome, man. Well, let's just jump right into another tune. Now, remember, you guys, you can learn all these Weezer classics from the seminal Blue album. It's on Fender Play. We're still giving away 3 months free. So if any of you guys are interested and not already a subscriber, take full advantage of this 3-month offer. You can check out fender.com/playthrough for more info. And also, if you jumped in early, remember we're announcing a special Fender Play Live exclusive deal for viewers of this very episode super soon. So stick around. Next up, Mike, can we hear a little bit of the Sweater Song?
They're those big inverted power chords again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you're just playing a 6-string by yourself. It still sounds huge coming through my earpiece here. You got that really fun intro riff during the party scene. Is that not just based on like an open G? Is that what's happening there?
What is that note?
Is that a B flat? Relative to what we're playing, 3rd fret of the G.
Yes, it is. And the way that goes with the B string, that like dissonance just makes it for me. It's very Pixies.
Yeah, right. And what would you? Yeah, I guess that's a good thing to pull to, like when it comes to like early influences, right?
Yeah, in the Blue album, I'm hearing a lot of Pixies. I'm hearing a lot of Pavement. I'm hearing a lot of basic song structures, pop, like really amazing stuff. Yeah,
that's so cool, man. Yeah, I know you were telling me that when the band plays this live during the party scene, instead of like all the chatter that takes place underneath it, they replace the lyrics with rap lyrics. Is that right? Like
instead of the hey, are you going to the party? Yeah, like that stuff. Instead of that, they would often recite rap lyrics from the era, and that is one of my favorite things to do. Is like look up live videos on YouTube and the way they just launch into it, and they're all doing different songs through the mic. It's genius.
That's great. Well, we just had a question come down from YouTube in the pipeline. I mean, I've got a couple questions for you just as a friend, but within this record, but we have somebody pulling out the question, which record do you prefer between record number 1, the Blue album, or record number 2, Pinkerton?
You're going to make me choose between my beautiful boys.
We're live, man.
I think it depends on my mood. I know that's a bit of a cop-out, but depending on my mood, sometimes I just want to hear that like thrashy, like greasy sound of Pinkerton. Like some of those songs are just like so in your face, and I love that. Oh gosh, if hard pressed, trick question. If hard pressed, I go for the B-sides. I go for Suzanne. I go for You Gave Your Love to Me Softly. So, you didn't get me.
I love that. All right, cool. Well, wait. I guess for myself, the nostalgia is so powerful. I used to fall asleep to Only in Dreams. I'd have that just play on repeat every night. I'm going to ask you a quick question. We got some more coming through. What's your what do you think is the most underrated track on that record? Because that record spawned, I mean, it's still so many rock radio staples. We're talking about a lot of the ones we cover, from Say It Ain't So to the Sweater Song. But what are some of the underdogs on that record for you?
You know, I think Only in Dreams gets the bulk of like the awe when people hear that, is even for the first time. I've had the pleasure of introducing that to some friends, and you know, their jaw just drops at the orchestration of the guitars. However, for a song that takes me somewhere and a song that feels like it's got a setting and a time and a place, Holiday. I think Holiday maybe is one of the more underrated tracks on the record. It's beautiful.
Well, you know, I know that when they were doing...
Yeah, I love that one. I absolutely love it.
I love that one too. And when they were doing the kitchen tape demos, there were a lot of songs that were featured there that were then, of course, carried on into the Blue album. But I think Holiday was actually written later, kind of more celebratory, that they were finding some success early on. Rumor has it. But I guess that goes to say, what do you think is the legacy of the Blue album, both as a rock album and in its own right as a guitar-centric record?
I think, well, I'm going to speak personally on this because I'm not like as big a music historian as I probably should be. But personally, the Blue album taught me that heavy sounds can be recontextualized into even the simplest sort of songs. And it made me feel secure in my love of big chords. And like, I grew up on punk rock. I grew up on, you know, simple stuff, you know, stuff like that. But there's a gleeful embrace of simplicity on that record. And it makes me feel like, you know, no matter how I woodshed, no matter how much I practice, like, it's really about the song. It's about having fun. It's about making something that's sort of a statement. And I think the Blue album does that beautifully.
Yeah, well said, man. It doesn't necessarily have to be heavy and angsty in order for it to fit in these heavy overtone chords like you were just talking about. And it's fun. I mean, it's a very earnest record, like you were saying. It's covering topics like depression and self-destructive behavior. Yeah, and I think what I love about it, loneliness. And in times like these, like, to look at the lightheartedness behind that is really valuable, I think. Let's jump into the fourth song we're going to cover today. It's probably the most famous song off the record. I can't tell you how many students I started having enrolled on the heels of Guitar Hero becoming a thing. And this was a massive song that popped up a bunch in that sphere. And that was the one and only Say It Ain't So, man.
Oh yeah. All right. you know the words at home. Sing along. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs ever. God, what a brilliant piece of songwriting. Really incredible.
I gotta say, I just noticed you switched guitars. What's going on there? You have more of a clean sound with that Jaguar.
Now, what a lot of people don't know about Say It Ain't So is that the clean guitar parts were recorded with Rick Ocasek's 65 Jaguar. And I've got my 63 here. It's a little bit modified, a little bit hacked up. That's okay. All guitars deserve love. But yeah, what you've got going on is you've got the neck pickup engaged and also the strangle or the bass cut switch. So that thins it out. So that's why the opening of that song is so... Yeah, that's why you've got that like hollowed out sound. It's so cool. It's so cool. So much love.
Yeah, such a distinction from what you were playing earlier, not just as far as the parts, but the tone is really apparent. Can we hear a little bit more of that solo, actually, while you've got that guitar with you?
Which solo? The
all the all those lead lines.
There's in the verses.
He's got that one lick in the second verse, right?
Almost made it the whole way through without a bum note.
I'm calling you on the spot, man. I'm trying to steal that, but just going back to the Letterman performance, you watch his restraint the whole time. Yeah. Because he's this secret shredder, and then that's such an understated lick with a completely understated tone, and he just poops it out. It's so good.
And there are little moments on the record where you can hear a little bit of that shred coming out. I think, honestly, in the intro, when he does that G chord, where it sounds to me as if it's like a clean half sort of sweep pick, because when you sweep pick, you're just like going across the strings, and that sounds like to me what he's doing. And even that, it sounds like the practiced hand of somebody who knows how to shred, and I don't know. And that's not
what
me.
it is. Yeah. No, hey man, you make it look easy too, and I think that's right. It's that fluidity. But again, that dissonance pops up again, right?
Yeah, that dissonance. We
heard it in the Sweater song. We're hearing it again here, and it's not afraid of contributing to an otherwise sweet song, pop tune. Let's go see. We got a heavy chorus here. That whole Dear Daddy section with that descending line. Well, is that what's going on there? Is the guitar just staying on one power chord the whole time? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So here's a big scoop for you at home. I only learned this last week when I was listening and preparing, and
cool.
I'm sort of preparing. I just play along with this all the time. Let's be honest. I only like 2 records, and 2 of them are the first Weezer. So, but yeah, I discovered last week for the first time that it sounds to me like that descending Dear Daddy part. Everybody plays that second chord as, including me, until last week when it sounds like. Sounds like what was that, 7th? I'm real bad at that stuff. What is that?
It's like a major 7th?
Yeah, where the root octave goes down a half step. Yeah. It sounds like the guitar is staying here, while the bass is.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I wondered why there was that dissonance, and now I know. It's just, again, like genius, Matt Sharp, genius Rivers Cuomo. Like you're just killing it. Amazing.
I do really love it, man. I think that it's a timeless record for a reason, and I think that the art behind it has everything to do with all this contrast, not being afraid of integrating things that are probably a little ugly with things that are otherwise really sweet and accessible. And on the note of accessibility, I just want to speak to our students for a second.
Yeah.
A lot of these songs, while we're here, while we're talking about like some finer points with all of this, it is accessible. Like there's so many things that you can do to jump in with these songs and join the band. In our Facebook community, for those of you who, we're going to get to that a little bit later and talk in greater detail about, for those of you who aren't familiar with our Facebook community, what that's all about. But I just posted a video in there about movable power chord shapes. And for those of you who have been working on that exercise, just about every song we've touched on from Weezer's discography are great applications for movable power chord shapes, whether or Buddy Holly. When I was first learning power chords, it was just ripping this record. And the more playing, the better, man. You got anything else you can pull out for us while we've got that guitar in our sights? Was that the main solo from the song that you were jamming earlier?
The Buddy Holly solo?
Yeah.
I have to get into it. Yeah. You get me all mixed up here. Wait, I'm taking one more.
There it is. Yeah.
We'll come back to it. Oh, I'm so ashamed of myself.
I can't touch that, man.
Oh. Third time's a charm.
Is that a hardtail for that sustain that I'm hearing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got some.
Yeah. Nice.
Same from this gigantic brass hardtail.
All right, so let's move on to the homework. For all you players watching at home, we're going to give you some things you guys can work on after the show is over to help hone some of the skills that we've brought up over the course of the show. Now, these are just some simple things you can work on, but make sure to check out the playlist link in our description for even more lessons on Fender Play. Mike, you're our guest. Could you enlighten us to what the homework might be for today? We've got the beginner tier, the intermediates, and the advanced.
Homework for all you lovely folk out there. Homework for the beginners. Now, beginners, I'm talking to you. What you want to do is you want to go learn the Sweater song. You want to play that intro, that... Play that at half speed. Just get comfortable with that dissonance, comfortable with the odd fingering that moves. That was pretty quick. I don't know. But we got it on Fender Play, so you can learn it there. But just get comfortable. Just get comfortable with moving your pick down the strings, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I believe in you. It's wonderful that you're learning. Amazing.
And then how about for our intermediate players?
Now, for the intermediate folk, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to play the intro to My Name is Jonas. Now, I know that hybrid picking can be a little bit tricky, but it's really not that bad. Start slow, work up to it. Oh, see, I don't even play it right half the time. And you could throw some big chords in there, too.
You know what's next. You just demoed a little bit of that for our advanced players. What is your charge and benediction to them? What do you encourage them to try out?
Advanced players, I charge you to do what I could not, and that's play the solo from Buddy Holly. It took me 3 tries. I am sure that most of you, it will be far fewer, but I believe in you. Get that solo down, and when you get to the... really ring that out for everything it's worth, because it's the most fun I've ever had playing live. The one show that I remember best, we played that solo, and when everybody screamed, and and it made me feel like a very good person for a moment. So you too can capture that feeling even in your bedroom. Go for it. Have a good time.
Mike, it sounds like you left that audience better than when you found them. Same is true for right now. We're so lucky to have gotten you remotely in times like these to bring your joy and your energy to everybody watching. Everywhere you go, I said this to you earlier, I meant it, so I'm just going to recite it again. You leave people wanting to become best friends with you. So thank you so much for coming through the show. It's worth asking, is there anything worth plugging right now? Anything you're up to?
Let's see. I've got, a couple weeks ago, I released a cover of... I believe in a thing called Love by the Darkness, but themed for times such as these, with my friend Lauren Strange, who's an incredible vocalist.
Yeah, she sounds amazing.
I've got a couple big articles out in Guitar Magazine, one with Jeff Garland, one with Aerosmith, which was I can't believe that happened. And then otherwise, just hanging out. Yeah, I'm being me, obviously. So you be you.
Brilliant, man. Well, Mike, so good to have you here. Keep hanging around for a little bit. We're going to go ahead and welcome Dylan in for the last segment of our show with some Fender Play updates, including the very special promo for all you viewers out there right now. So here we go. Please welcome remotely, Dylan.
Hey,
Dylan.
How you doing?
You're live. We hear you. We see you. What's going on, man?
Well, great show. I'm really enjoying it. That Blue album was just like junior high, pretty much encapsulated in that one album. And he's right. When that da 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 da, I can die when that's done.
Well, Dylan, you're here. Typically, when we see you, our first question is, what do you have in your possession today in terms of instrument? But hand in hand with the promo we're about to announce, it's worth us asking, what shirt are you wearing, Dylan?
Oh, yes, this thing, right? Aha! Yes, well, this is a brand new Fender Burgundy Bear shirt. And I'm thrilled to have gotten it in the mail. I was really excited, and I ran around in it. Our producer wanted to make sure that I wore it today, so I slept in it last night, and I showered in it, and I'm still, it's maintained its form very well. So I'm thrilled to have it. It's basically, you can get this shirt, all of you that are watching this, for 20% off by using the promo code SWEATER.
That's right. Timely code.
Yes.
And for all you viewers at home, again, you guys can get an exclusive 20% discount on this shirt by using that promo code SWEATER. It's available for all of our U.S. viewers, even if you're not a Fender Play subscriber. Though if you aren't, please, by all means, take advantage of the 3 free months and try it out. You have 24 hours to redeem this code. So if you're not watching live yet, you have until Thursday at 6 p.m. And that's just one of the perks we have here at Fender Play that we're bringing to you weekly. But another big perk is the Fender Play gear giveaway. If you're new to Fender Play and taking advantage of the free trial, every week we give away free gear to a lucky subscriber and announce the winner right here in real time on Fender Play Live. Dylan, what does the lucky winner receive each week?
Yeah, a lot of people are just asking about that in the community. So basically, we're not talking about picks or strings here. You get to pick from guitars, basses, amplifiers. People pick out jazz masters, tellies, P basses, acoustics. We've given away over 50 guitars since we started doing this, and we do it every week. And all you got to do is practice to get automatically entered. So keep practicing.
That's right. That's it. So just to qualify, all you have to do is be a Fender Play subscriber. This is absolutely applicable if you are one of our new subscribers using the 3 months. And it's important to mention that we have the component in our practicing called streaks. So all you have to do is practice for 3 times a week for 7 minutes each time. That is what's going to qualify you for a Fender Play streak. So without further ado, Dylan, tell us who won this week.
If you guys could give me a little bit of fanfare here, let's go.
We feel it, we hear it, we smell it.
Here we go. Carrie J. Carrie J. Come on down. Carrie J. Congratulations.
Congrats. For more info on the giveaway, check out the link in our description and tune in next week to see if you've won. Now, yet again, another great perk of being a Fender Play subscriber, and I really mean this, this is probably the best perk because it's available to anybody who wants it really, is access to our Fender Play community of over 35,000 active users and people. It's a friendly and supportive community where people share their progress. They're asking us questions, definitely showing off their gear. And more than anything, they're really supporting each other as they learn together. And in the past few weeks, we have added like a TV guide's worth of new material and features to the community. Dylan, again, you just keep rolling with being the bearer of good news, man. What's new in our Fender Play community as of this last week?
Yeah, so if you've been on the community prior to this new campaign that Fender Play's done, you've noticed that it was the most nurturing digital place in the world. That's my personal quote. But now you've noticed that it's also the highest new awesome content digital place in the world. Also my quote. We've got a lot of stuff that comes out every week now because we want to keep you guys engaged in this community and really enjoying this process and incorporating it into the experience with Fender Play. So we've got something every week called Office Hours, which happens on Monday and Wednesday mornings. I'll be putting up a little blip about who's doing it the night before. It's awesome. You get to ask questions. It's all kinds of, you get to work with the instructors directly one-on-one. It's really killer. We've got instructors such as Scott working within the community 7 days a week, answering questions, making posts like he was talking about a moment ago about moving power chords around, working with those types of things as you're learning on the guitar. We've got the weekly song challenge, the Fender Play Challenge from Mike Lake. We're still working on finding Mike Lake. It's Matt Lake. Final answer. Use the second take. And
I know where Mike Lake is.
Artist series where we're interviewing artists, and this week we're interviewing. We have Gothic Tropic that's interviewing RAC. So
wow! Oh wow, that's gonna be so cool. Yeah, guys, I can't encourage you guys enough. I truly. Free access to the Fender Play community. Come with all of your questions. Come with absolutely no background in playing guitar and feeling like you can become an empowered candidate to learn with tens of thousands of people supporting you, not the least of which are people from Fender here. I'm there every Sunday checking in. Like I just said, I posted a bunch of exercises that kind of I guess unintentionally led up to this. We're doing some Travis picking recently, movable power chord shapes, and it's always fun to talk about, Dylan, some of the shout outs, there's so many things that happen in the community, so many things that are newsworthy, so to speak. But what are some that you pulled out from this last week?
Yeah, again, like you just said, there's like a lot of people that are doing a lot of things. It's almost hard to pick from because there's just so many great videos. Make sure you pop through, make comments. People are going to love you when you post too. Don't be afraid to do so. Kate K, who's a new member, she got super inspired by all the brave posters out there. And so she decided, brand new member, she decided to post a video of herself playing Riptide. So congratulations, Kate, and you did a great job.
Nice.
That's right. Yeah. And then Sinza, who posted her version of Comfortably Numb after learning on Play. And Sinza, if you haven't seen this video, first of all, she's got an arrangement of it that has some serious panache.
Yeah.
And then also her her living room is. I've been making loads. She's got the colorful couches, and
super
I need to buy a
factual.
scarf. Apparently, it's really nice. Check
We're
the video
letting
out.
you into our homes. They're letting us into theirs from afar. Now, Cynthia, I thought it was Cynthia, but she's been pumping out some really cool stuff too. And as far as Kate K, I can't say it enough. You never know, even if you're a beginner, who you're going to be a role model for, who you may encourage to get that sort of like that like red light practice as far as you're practicing filming for yourself. And then you say, maybe I'll send this out to the community to get some feedback. I always encourage you guys to do that once you jump into this. So let's go ahead and wrap some things up. There's another perk of joining Fender Play. It's that we're always adding new songs, new skills to the site. There's always something new for you guys to learn. All you have to do is just check the Just Added tab on the songs and skill page. Dylan, what is just added and new for this week?
Yeah, so it speaks to the diversity of content on the site. So one of the songs. It's Luke Perry's Games. So make sure you check that one out. Not Luke. Did I say Luke Perry? Did I say Luke Perry?
90210's got some licks, man.
Yeah, he may have covered it, but it's actually going to be Luke Bryan that's on our site doing it. So if you can find the Luke Perry version, more power to you. But actually, and then the other song that we're highlighting this week is Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks. So we got. It goes on. And you know what? This is a song that's really accessible. If you're maybe on level 2 of any one of the paths, you're going to be able to do the riff, even if you're on level 1, probably. And then if you're on level 2, you're going to be able to get through the whole song. And the same thing is with the Luke Bryan song. There's some cowboy chords in there. There's some 8th note strumming, a little bit of chord anticipation, as well as string muting. But it's not going to throw you way out of the park to be able to do these. So check them both out. You might just love them.
And like Dylan said, this speaks to the diversity of everything we're offering. Today was just a quick little dive into one record we love here at Fender. We hope you guys love. If it wasn't for you for any reason, go ahead and see everything else we have to offer. Huge thank you to our friend Mike Adams. Thanks for coming by today, man. And Dylan, always good to have you. We encourage all of you guys to join us again for more for Fender Play Live next week from our homes. And keep practicing, guys. Again, you'll never know who you're being a role model for. We'll see you guys for more next time. Let's go ahead and all together now strum that ceremonial G chord. 1, 2, 3.